Hi, welcome to From Cheryl to Charlie. Um, this is going to be a video series. It's going to be about my journey through being a female to male hormonally, and I'll be transitioning hormonally for the next 5 years. So whether you guys are watching or if this is just for me, it's just kind of like a diary or a vlog of what I'm going through right now as I'm going through the deal. I think it's going to be kind of important. I'm going to be going back on a few videos, but to kind of give you the idea of why I got here, because I'm really wanting to start people off at the very beginning. But since I've already had my first shot, and right now we're actually in quarantine for the C virus. I'm not going to say the word because I don't want this demonetized if it ever becomes monetized. So because of that, I've got plenty of time. So I'm just going to start right here at the first shot. So the name of this video is First Shot. So a small window for those of you that see this before the other videos get put up. Essentially what's happened is I have been talking for almost a year now about getting on testosterone. I consider myself a transgendered male, and I have been transitioning socially in several other ways for quite a while now. And I have made the decision to begin a medical transition via hormones. So it started off where I went in and I just went into Planned Parenthood and I talked to them, and they decided to set me up an appointment with a gender specialist. I live here in Washington, so that's one of the things Planned Parenthood kind of sets up. You have to go see a gender specialist first. Saw him, he gave me the okay, went back to see my doctor. So on March the 12th, I was able to see my doctor again, and she prescribed for me testosterone cipiate. We had a little bit of trouble trying to get my insurance to cover it. Fortunately, I have a little bit in my background that I'm able to be, my bank account that I can self-pay. So I just chose to self-pay. And so on the 12th, I come into the house and I lay everything out the way they taught me. I'd gone through a class, probably a 30-minute, if that, probably more like 15-minute class. And I'm telling you, it was not enough. I thought I knew what I was supposed to do. I thought I had watched them and I knew what to do. Well, guess what? I had no idea. And in the end, I made kind of the silliest mistake you could ever imagine, which is one of the things they tell you is you've got your vial and you pull the syringe open for the amount, the exact amount that you're supposed to actually be getting, and you take that air and you push that into the vial. Well, I didn't do that. So it was filled with bubbles. And I'm like, honey. Okay, the reason why I did that was this. My significant other is my husband, and he's been giving me B12 shots for, years now. And so he's already done this before. And so he pulls it out and he draws it up for me. But I really, really wanted to administer this first shot. And the biggest reason for that is so much of my journey in my life from birth till now, everybody else has been in control of exactly when and how and where I transition. And this was me taking that power back and saying, no, I'm doing this. I'm the one doing this for myself. So I was like, nope, I'm going to do this myself. So, okay, the first thing they tell you is you need to locate on your hip bone where that is. You take the back of the heel of your hand and you go in, and then you go take that hand, the wet width, and you go down. And where that palm is, that's where you should give your shot. So locate it and get a little bit of my alcohol swab there. And suddenly I am, because I am now in a full-fledged panic attack. Now, that might sound nuts. I mean, I've been planning on this thing for forever. So why am I freaking out right now? I go into this big emotional explosion. I actually feel sorry for my significant other because he was like, what is going on? So, struggled. He got that all shot up together and found the right spot and took and pulled it back, the skin the way you're supposed to, and let the plunger in. There was that time period right before then where there was just this heart-pounding moment. I can't describe it, that panic attack, or exactly like what it was like at that moment, but I can tell you this. These were my thoughts. What the heck are you doing? What if this is the worst decision you've ever made in your life? You can't take this back if you do this. Hey, once this is done, there's no way to take it back out of your system. I literally was sitting there on the point of a needle. And in the end, I just decided, you know what? F this. I'm just going to do it. Plunge that plunger in. And, it was not that bad, actually. And immediately I had a sense of euphoria. I don't think it had anything to do with the fact that testosterone was put in my leg. I really think what it was just this sense immediately of, okay, I've been talking about this for forever. There were circumstances when you guys see the prior videos of the things that happened prior to this, you'll understand more. But, it was like, now I finally am able to do this. And so I was super duper excited, and just really happy that I actually got it done and that it wasn't as bad as my brain had made it out to be. So I want to talk a little bit about like the first sign for me that something had happened. About 10 minutes after taking the shot, there was a stillness and a calmness that came over my emotions. One of the things you need to realize is that my whole life, there was continually a flutter of emotions going on right here in my chest. I don't know if that was dysphoria or whatever. I just know that I felt like I lived every waking moment as if I was living in the emotions of the past or the emotions of the future, not really in the now. And what seemed to happen immediately after the shot is a lot of that stuff just calmed down. And things became still, and I was quiet or emotionally, and I felt like I could focus and to begin to think better. It was like I was for the first time like living right here in my now. And it was exciting. I'm not going to lie. It was exciting and refreshing. And it was like needing something so very badly for a very, very long time and not knowing that you really needed it until it showed up, and just being like, oh, thank God. So that's kind of like the first, I don't want to say side effect, but that first effect of having that testosterone started there. Now, I will say that later on, my brain started doing this funky thing in there. I was like, this isn't normal. This isn't how you act. This isn't how you react to things. And so I was a little nervous for a little while. And then over time, like I said, we're looking at a week and a half at this point on testosterone. I have actually become really, really, really grateful. And I've gone back to going, this is a good thing. And it's starting to become normal, a normal feeling. So I'm super excited about that change. And so the other thing that happened about 10 minutes later, as somebody who has struggled for a very long time with chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, I felt like I had been living on very low energy for quite a while. And so here I am 10 minutes later, and it's like, oh, dang, I got all of this energy. Woo! And so I decided I'm going to walk to the gym. And so by walking to the gym, I did make one small mistake. I didn't bring an extra set of clothes. Why? All I was planning on was lifting from the waist up, and I never sweat for that. So why in the world would I need extra set of clothes? So I didn't bring clothes. Big mistake. Big mistake, as you're about to find out. So as I walked forward, I was kind of like, wow, man, this is going to be the new physical me. I love this. So I started lifting weights. Now, one of the things I noticed, and I don't have an explanation for this, I can give you my thoughts of what it could be, but I really don't know. But I did notice that I did lift heavier weights. And I know that it's impossible that I got more muscles. So that can't be the issue here. So I'm wondering if there's like a feedback thing that testosterone kind of helps you not have as much of a notice of pain sensors. I'm not sure. But, and I also know that living in a female body and growing up in the environment that I have grown up in, we're all taught females are supposed to be more weak. And I don't know if that played a part. I mean, seriously, maybe it was about, hey, I've got testosterone in me and I'm supposed to be strong, and therefore I'm giving myself permission to lift higher weights than I ever allowed myself to lift before. I can't be certain on that. That's a possibility. But those are some ideas I've got, and if you guys have any ideas, let me know. Put it in the comments. Anyway, so after exercising and lifting weights, one of the things I noticed was I was sweating like crazy. I'm talking seriously sweating. So I was like, whoa, what am I going to do now? I decided, well, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to try to get a shower. I should be fine. Go to put the clothes on. I'm like, whoa, man sweat. Where the heck did that come from? I've always liked man sweat. So it wasn't like I was like repulsed by it, but I did kind of notice that was different. And, one of the things that I thought about then and have thought about since is like, did the testosterone change my pheromones a little bit? And I'm picking up on that because I do know that I had a tendency to pick men for their man sweat. Okay. So maybe that's what it is that with the testosterone, maybe it's like I got some pheromones going, that the testosterone changed into a more masculine form. So that's a big plus. Again, I'm super excited about that part of it. It's not much, but hey, at this point, I'm just sort of hanging my hat on things, just really trying to keep my excitement going and hoping that I'm going to see things, and I'm looking for it now, and I will admit that. So the next thing that happened, okay, they tell you you're going to be more hungry, honey. I was still, even with that, not prepared for what happened. I was like, wow. First of all, what you got to understand is I'm a huge carb addict, or at least I was before going to testosterone. All I could think about was carbs. Wasn't that interested in meat. My favorite food was tortillas with a little bit of cheese thrown on top of that. And hey, that's a meal as far as I was concerned. But one of the things that happened, at first I was like, hey, what are you guys talking about? I'm not hungry. 4 hours later, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hours later, I was hungry. So, okay, I'm going to go get my normal carby type thing. I think I got a muffin or something and sat down to eat that. And it was like my body was just like, honey child, we do not want you to even think about eating this. You don't want this. So I'm like, what? My body's acting really weird. It's telling me I'm hungry, but at the same time, it's telling me it doesn't want to eat my normal foods that I normally do. And then I got a craving, and the craving was for meat. And so from Friday all the way to Monday, it was like steak, give me steak or let me die. I swear I ate more steak than you would ever believe. And I still really would prefer meat and other things like that over my carbs, even right now to today. So we're like a week and a half, and I'm still wanting steak, or chicken, or meat, maybe some corned beef, but meat's what I'm really wanting the most. So that was a really interesting thing. The problem that happened for me is I woke on Friday with a nasty cough. And as you guys know, if you're looking at this, it's going to be at a later date. You'll know that that was the time period where the state of Washington started really having the outbreak of the C virus. And so I woke up with a nasty cough, ran fevers over the weekend, kind of frustrated at that point. I'm like, dang, I can't lift weights right now. I can't get out, blah, 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 blah. Monday, I went to the doctor. They gave me a flu shot. So no flu. So the problem is they couldn't give me the other test. So we didn't know, and still don't to this day, whether I had the C virus. So stuck in the house. Boss's hubby says stay home. So we are on quarantine. And I'm not panicking. Again, back to the emotional calmness. This would never, ever have been my reaction. I was like, we're going to make it through it. We'll just live with what's going on right now, blah, 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 but not emotionally getting like panicky and freaky and all of those things that happen whenever there was estrogen running through my system. So, yeah, I think that's even more proof that things were beginning to change. However, about noon on Wednesday, that fluttering, clamorous feeling in the center right here started coming back. And that was whenever I really started realizing, this is kind of uncomfortable. It's not what I want to return to. So, and all of this happened, by the way, before I even realized that the next day was my shot day. And so in fact, I didn't even realize until it was time for bed that, oh, yeah, that's right. In the morning, I'm supposed to be taking my shot. So, good thing is that only lasted like half a day before I woke up the next day, went to sleep. So, I was 1 week on testosterone the very next morning, and I'm up early because I'm really excited to try this again. Drawing the shot was a lot easier on this day. And, that pounding, galloping, anxious heart kind of came back for a few minutes, but it didn't last as long. And it was a lot easier to draw that shot. That was whenever I realized what I'd done wrong, so I pulled it back the way I was supposed to, and it just flowed in. So my biggest tip for anybody starting testosterone shots, don't forget to put the air into the vial. It does make it easier. Trust me. So, okay. At that point, I was 1 week out. So I wanted to talk a little bit of some of the things that are going to be regular on these videos that I really want you to be prepared for, because it's going to happen regularly. I'm going to end each one of these videos with what week it is. So at this point, this was 1 week. The date was March the 19th. And what was it like during my first week of testosterone? Well, we had, as you can hear, a few things that changed. As a whole, not much is like changing in my physical body. This is all up in here and in here that the biggest changes. And physically, probably the only thing I can say that's changed is, yeah, I still have man sweat. Yep. I have to wash more often. I'm actually a little bit more stinky than normal. I really do need to be able to use my deodorant, because if I don't do that every day, the smell is phenomenally worse than before. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, I had to increase my hygiene at that point. So that's physically what's happened. Mentally, like I said, I'm calmer than I have been in a very, very long time. Emotionally, that's the biggest, hugest difference. Is emotionally, and like I said, I can't tell you if the reason why things are different is because, hey, guess what? I'm on my way and I'm doing what I've been planning on doing for quite a while, and I'm doing something and I'm gaining back power, or if emotionally I'm in a much better place because the testosterone is doing something to my emotions. I can't tell you that. I am not a doctor, but emotionally I do feel better than I have been. Socially, of course, because we are looking at the C virus being all over the place out here in a horrible outbreak, I'm at this point, like, socially isolated. I can't say that it doesn't really bother me, but I'm more of an introvert anyway. I mean, I know it sounds weird. Here I am telling my story and blabbering off to you guys like crazy, but really, socially, I'm more of an introvert anyway. Legally, my name actually has already changed. I think that was the first thing when I realized I wasn't going to be able to do any of the other physical changes that I wanted to do. It was something within my power. So I legally changed my name to Charlie. So to go back to explain, I was born Cheryl, and I changed my name to Charlie Ray. So I hope this is going to help people that are coming, but if nobody comes, this will help me. That's kind of what matters most. It's a record of my journey. But I would like to be able to help you guys as well. So, hi everybody. This is week 1, and really honestly right now it's a week and a half. I'll be making another one here next Thursday. But yeah, thanks. Hi. Bye.